We can kill him. Yeah, we can kill him. If I do this... Does this work? Yep, it works. Yep, that's how you count to 20. That's how you count to 20. Mm-hmm. Oh hey, it's Geb. Hello everyone, welcome back. The name's Geb, and today we're going to be looking at yet another quintessential deck that's in the standard meta right now. And that's, you guessed it, Mono-red Aggro. This deck is super straightforward. It's basically a count to 20 deck that uses a critical mass of cheap, hasty creatures that are amplified by non-creature spells, creating a blisteringly fast clock that can kill an opponent before they even get to do anything. The way this deck accomplishes this is through creatures like Emberheart Challenger, which is a haste and prowess creature, and Slickshot Show-Off, which is a flying haste creature. Both of these having haste and a non-creature spell trigger, with the latter having a plot ability, so you can backload a huge damage turn through paying for its mana cost the previous turn. We also have Screaming Nemesis being a must-answer threat through its ability, which reads, whenever a creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to another target. If a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life for the rest of the game. Not only is that good for shutting down those pesky life gain decks, but it's also a way to gain extra reach through instances that would normally only target creatures. Instead, you would target your own nemesis, which can then replicate the damage you dealt to it right into the opponent, giving you more ways to counter 20 than is immediately obvious. Then you have the classic mono-red burn package, being Burst Lightning, Boltwave, Shock, and Lightning Strike. You get the idea. It helps you counter 20, or kills the creatures who let your creatures counter 20. What more could you ask for? So, on turn 1, you bring out your 1-drop. This is usually Ghitu Lavarunner. And then turn 2, you bring out your Emberheart Challenger, or Slickshot Show-Off, or you plot Slickshot Show-Off for a later turn. And then on turn 3 you have a couple of lines, such as either Screaming Nemesis, or you could do a turn 2 creature, so you could bring out, say, another Emberheart Challenger or another Slickshot Show-Off, and then do a one mana burn spell to do even more damage. Or if you've plotted the Slickshot Show-Off, you can then bring out a creature, the plotted Slickshot Show-Off, and a burn spell to then do a massive swing turn. Again, super simple stuff. As for the cost of the deck, it is deceptively a little expensive, because there are quite a lot of must-have creatures like the ones I've mentioned earlier, which are rare or mythic rare, but the burn package itself is actually all commons or uncommons, so it's not super expensive, but it could be a little bit more expensive for a extremely new player to build this deck. But now that we've gone over the deck basics, let's count to 20, shall we? So in terms of the mulligan, we're not going first with this. Preferably you want 2 to 3 lands. You want early threat, so you want a 1-drop and a 2-drop creature. And then you at least want 1 spell here. Witchstalker Frenzy is not great, but the fact that we have 2 High Claws and Emberheart Challengers is good. Hopefully we'll draw into removal, so then we draw into burn or non-creature spells, so then we can get these going. Boltwave, perfect. So we start with the High Claw. We go straight into Emberheart Challenger. You might counterspell it, but that's fine. He doesn't. Okay. He disables it, which is fine. We got Shock too. Again, this is just a really simple count to 20 deck. Although the fact that we're on Yeah, okay. That's fine. We can take 4 damage here. Yep. Fine. What's he gonna bring out? He's gonna bring out another Lumbering World Wagon. That's fine. Alright, so we have now 3 damage, 4 damage with the High Claw attacking. This is only target creatures. 4 damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so we have enough. And he's tapped as well, so... I may have miscalculated. I'm so stupid. I mean, I could Witchstalker Frenzy for 1, kill my own Emberheart Challenger. That would make it 5. Yeah, no. We'll mountain and then turn. He's on 4, so he has to kill us now, else we win. I should have done the. I should have done it. I should have done the spells earlier. Learning curve, I guess. That's fine. That's fine. We can still. We can do 2 Emberheart Challengers. Yeah. Or can we? No, what we'll do... No, we'll do 2, because then the 2 will have to go through, and then next turn we can Boltwave. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Ugin's fine. Again, I have Boltwave. Yep, that's fine. Oh, gain 3 life. I have to draw... Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's over. If I would have drawn another Boltwave or another Shock, it would have been fine. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Or even a Screaming Nemesis, that would have done it. Oh no, it wouldn't. Yeah, it's over. I misplayed. That's completely my bad. That's completely my bad. Oh! He surrendered! He surrendered! Oh, he thought I got another. Oh, this is why you never ever surrender. Never surrender. We go first this time. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna keep, despite the fact that we only have Witchstalker Frenzy again, but I'm gonna keep this land because of the two Screaming Nemesises. Either we draw a mountain, we get Screaming Nemesis out, or we draw removal and we just keep going that way. We'll bring out the Lavarunner first, only because we want to check to see if they have removal. They do not. We'll bring out this. We'll keep Boltwave again, just in case. Again, this doesn't benefit until we have 2 or more instant or sorcery cards. So, this having 1 will not do anything other than just dealing 3 damage. There's the 3rd mountain. Screaming Nemesis. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because I can redirect Screaming Nemesis. Rockface. Not good enough. Let me think here. No, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11. We'll be down to 2. We can kill him. Yeah, we can kill him. Whenever it's dealt damage. So if I do this... Does this work? Yep, it works. Yep, that's how you counter 20. That's how you counter 20. Mm-hmm. This is all removal, no creatures. We are going to mulligan. Because this is an aggro deck, you only mulligan once, so we just have to take this hand. We will remove Shock, because it's our weakest card here, and we don't want to get rid of any lands. Well, I do believe we have lost. Yep. I think we've lost this matchup. We have no creatures. Turn 1 or 2. They put Authority Councils turn 1. Yeah, I think this is over. Okay, that's... Oh. Oh dear. Three lands, Eye Claw, Emberheart Challenger, Burst Lightning. Yep, this is a great hand. We don't go first though, which is a bit of a problem, but it is what it is. Starting town. Into Llanowar Elves. That's fine. Solanesnia. So far. We don't know what other colours he has. Nothing. Interesting. Well, Emberheart Challenger. Both. We have a lot of removal all of a sudden. Down to 15. Good. Okay. You're gonna do with 3 mana. It's the Omniscience deck. We need to go fast. We definitely need to apply pressure. I get the feeling that it's Rockface Village. I get the feeling that it's Omniscience. It's a distinct feeling that this is Omniscience. There's Lightning Strike. Okay, so now we do this. We attack with 2. This becomes a 2 mana card. Although really, we don't have Screaming Nemesis for this, so to any target. To any target. Okay, this is what we do. We shock this. Slow him down. We bring out the pressure. We burst lightning his face. We bring him down to 5. This will look like we're positioning for a kill next turn. Fable Passage. Island. Okay. Anything else you want to do? Nothing. We have 2 burst lightnings. Doing nothing isn't the right answer against an aggro deck. Is he going to counterspell? Bounce off, that's fine. Does he have another one? Wow, 2 of them. Okay. But he's dead, so it doesn't matter. Okay. 2 Lava Runners, 1 High Claw, 1 Shock. A lot of 1-drops, but sure. Nice, we get the Burst Lightning. We'll bring out High Claw first. Nothing. Okay. We will bring out the 2 Lava Runners. That's fine. That's fine. Healer's Hawk we can shock. It's fine, we'll give them both 2. I should have done Witchstalker Frenzy. Oh well. Seam rip. Okay. Oh, that's rough. There it is. Okay. Nice. And we kill him. Easy. I go first. 2 lands. 1 top, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop plus shock. Yep, we're keeping this. We do this first. Okay. Jeskai artifacts. We get another mountain. This is good. This is our 1, 2, 3. Three, 4, 5, 6. 7. Plus 5, we win. Quickest game of my life. Oh wait, no it isn't. Shit. Sure. We'll do this. Make it so that he can't heal. He might have Pinnacle Starcage, which doesn't get rid of Screaming Nemesis. We'll Lightning Strike him. United Battlefront, that might bring out Pinnacle Starcage. And, oh, Repurposing Bay. Okay. I've won. Yep. So, as you've seen, this deck cleans up anything that is too slow, but let's go into detail on what you should look out for. First, I want to have a special mention to Authority of the Consuls. If you see this card get put down on turn 1, chances are you're not going to win the match. It negates your haste, it gives them life on your creatures entering, it's an enchantment, one of Red's fundamental weaknesses. This one card is basically the snake eyes of the deck. If you see it, you're going to have a hard time. Other decks that you are going to be weak against are go wide decks like Selesnya Rabbits or mono white tokens, as your burn-based removal is rather inefficient against multiple small creatures, and you'll be unable to race them if they are wider than you on the board. Life gain decks, for obvious reasons, you're going to struggle against. They gain more life than you can dish out, you run out of gas, and effectively get countered. Your only saving grace here is Screaming Nemesis, but if you don't draw that card, it's pretty much game over. And lastly, a slightly unfavoured matchup are aggro decks which have a higher curve than you, such as Boros Burn. If their creatures are consistently bigger than yours, or if their burn also helps them gain life, you could get outvalued in basically the combat stage. This comes more down to a skill or knowledge matchup more than anything though, so it's not necessarily a auto loss, it's more of a case of it's like a 5% less chance that you're going to win. However, There are some variations of this deck that you can possibly do to tip these matchups in your favour. Here are some of the most popular. First, the main card that is the flex spot in this deck, if you will, is Ghitu Lavarunner. Whilst this deck is pretty good overall, this is the worst card in the deck when the ability isn't activated. It's too slow compared to the other cards, even though it is a fast card in and of itself, and it's the worst top deck you can make outside of a land. So the first card to consider is Stadium Headliner, which is a 1-drop to use against more creature-based decks. You can go wider with its mobilize effects and overwhelm opponents who try to trade 1-for-1. Not to mention, its sacrifice ability is quite a nice mana sink for a final big push. The next one to think about is Clockwork Percussionist, which is a more value-oriented 1-drop that is better in slightly grindier matchups like the Aggro Mirror, as its death trigger provides card advantage through the fact that you exile the top card of your library, and then you may play it until the end of your next turn, not this turn. And lastly, one of the more curious ones that I would recommend is Fanatical Firebrand. It has quite an interesting use case in this deck, as not only can you ping an annoying creature for 1, think Heedless Hawks, Deep Cavern Bats, for example, but you can also use this card to immediately ping your Nemesis, which against life gain decks can provide a very cheap way to shut down their strategy without wasting any of your other creature burn spells. One other card that I would like you to consider is Opera Love Song. I would only put 1 copy into this, Trading In for a Mountain, as it's a way to give more explosive potential. The first mode is pure card advantage, and the second mode is a surprising game ender. Reading either choose 1, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play those 2 cards until your next end step, or 1 or 2 target creatures gain +2/+0 until the end of the turn. It gives the deck more power overall, but at the cost of some land consistency, which with this deck, Mono-red can afford, given its near rock bottom mana curve. I believe it's around 1.6, 1.7 mana. Moving on to its viability overall, in best of 1 this is a highly viable tier 1 contender. Its speed, consistency, and linear game plan are perfectly suited for a meta where you can't sideboard. You are basically built to prey on the unprepared and slower decks in the meta. For best of 3, it's still viable, but it's a little bit more challenging. More skilled opponents will bring in hate via the sideboard, like additional removal, life gain, sweepers, or the dreaded authority of the consoles. You'll very likely steal your first game, but your success hinges heavily on a well-built and correctly utilized sideboard. So, let's get right into that, shall we? Against control, I would bring in 4 copies of Magebane Lizard. If it's a recursion deck or a recursion combo deck, I would also bring in 2 copies of Ghost Vacuum as well. The replacements I would bring out here is taking out the 4 shocks, as it is poor against a deck with few to no creatures. And then the last 2 slots that I would bringing Ghost Vacuum in is rather flexible. Personally for me, I would take out 1 Witchstalker Frenzy and 1 Hired Claw. Frenzy is terrible with no attackers, and Hired Claw is your most vulnerable creature to early removal, such as Mono Black. The reason why I would bring these cards in is Ghost Vacuum is pretty obvious. It's graveyard hate against Cauldron VV decks, against Resurrector decks. It's very good at just exiling those key cards out of the graveyard before they get the chance to bring them back out onto the battlefield. And then for against control, Magebane Lizard, which reads, whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, this creature deals damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. It is a little bit of a double-edged sword. However, it's more devastating towards the control player because it punishes their non-creature spells, such as counter spells, removal, so on and so forth. At a very minimum, it is going to it's going to deal like 1 extra damage to the opponent, but obviously if they are out of options in terms of removal, or the only removal that they have is through counterspelling, the damage is going to stack up pretty quickly, because it's going to be 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4 damage, which, again, 4 spells, that's 10 damage immediately, so again, very good card against the control matchup. For mid-range, I would bring in 4 copies of Obliterating Bolt and then 2 copies of Suplex. The first one being is that this kills most creatures and exiles them. So again, against mono black demons, against big creatures which are difficult to get rid of, or Unstoppable Slasher, for example, is another key card that Obliterating Bolt can easily just get rid of. And the fact that it exiles them instead of just killing them means that the effect that Unstoppable Slasher doesn't go off. So again, a very, very good card to bring in against the mid-range part of that. The other card to bring in, I would say, is Suplex. Again, anti-artifact is quite prevalent. Artifact decks are quite prevalent in the meta, specifically around Jeskai artifacts, but also the VV Cauldron deck. This card is basically used to get rid of the Cauldron itself, so it's a very good inclusion to have a 2 of in there. To take out for these 6 cards, I would take out the 4 Ghitu Lavarunner. Yes, you're getting rid of your 1-mana creature drop here, but that doesn't really matter if the mid-range because the mid-range matchup is just going to outvalue in terms of creatures anyways. So getting rid of that consistency in terms of the creatures and replacing them with more removal is more prevalent here. The last 2 slots, again, a bit of a flexibility, 2 flexibility slots here. I would personally get rid of 1 Shock and 1 Hired Claw. You need to keep better burn spells like Boltwave for the reach, and you might trim a less impactful 1-drop for a single copy of a more crucial burn spell, such as Obliterating Bolt. For the aggro and go wide decks, as well as the sacrifice and life gain decks, I would bring in 3 Sunspine Lynxes, and again, like the mid-range matchup, 4 Obliterating Bolts. The Sunspine Lynx against aggro and go wide decks it provides a 5/4 which stonewalls their attackers and stops life gain, and the Obliterating Bolt is excellent removal for their key creatures. Again, for life gain and for sacrifice, this is basically the premier hate card alongside Screaming Nemesis. So if you go up against that life gain rival deck, you can basically bring in both of those, having 7 cards which essentially block out their life gain. The cards to take out are a little different depending on the matchup. So for go aggro and go wide, I would take out Boltwave. This is a key cut as Boltwave doesn't affect the board state at all. And against a aggro or go wide matchup, the main focus of the game is combat between creatures in this case. And so you will never really cast Boltwave when you're behind because you'll already be losing the board state and you basically don't want to lose anymore. For the flex spots, I would take out 2 Ghitu Lavarunner and 1 Witchstalker Frenzy. You want to cut out your worst creatures in a combat-focused matchup. And Frenzy is good here in theory, but it can be too slow or conditional for what it's worth, essentially. For the sacrifice and life gain matchups, I would get rid of the 4 Shocks. And again, I would be a bit flexible, but personally, again, I would get rid of the 3 Ghitu Lavarunner. You need to maximize the impact of every card, and a 1/2 that might become a 2/2 with haste, again, it's often too slow for what it is. So, that just about does it for our deep dive into Mono-red Aggro. I hope this guide helps you counter 20 a whole lot faster. If this guide helped, please do like the video and subscribe. I do put a lot of research into these videos and I would appreciate it very, very much. Let me know in the comments what other decks you want me to deep dive into. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.